Good afternoon. Thank you so much for making time to join us for this newscast coming your way live from Broadcast House, Nile Avenue. My name is Sandra Kahunde. Starting off this newscast, a look at what is taking place in the nation. The Ministry of ICT and National Guidance is moving forward with the operationalization of the presidential directive, which mandates every police station to establish a toll-free line for direct interaction with the public. Minister of State for National Guidance, Kabianga Godfrey, says that a short code will be assigned following a 7-day survey in the Kasese areas to identify locations with efficient network coverage, as Ivan Kahwa reports.
The Ministry of Information, Communication, Technology and National Guidance, in collaboration with Uganda Telecom, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, Uganda Communications Commission and NITAU, has conducted discussions aimed at implementing the presidential directive to provide codes for public use in sharing security intelligence with commanders. UTL, UCC and NITAU have been assigned the task of evaluating the areas in Kasese district and submitting a report on how toll-free lines can be established at every police post along the borders of Kasese.
So the president had directed that every sub-county should have a police post, mainly in Kasese, and more especially those ones which are at the border, those 10 which are at the border.
This initiative will enable the public to call commanders without incurring any costs, facilitating the sharing of crucial information that often goes unreported due to financial constraints.
And that line should be with the commander, the OC of that police post, not with any other person. It should be with someone who can make a decision and deploy immediately.
UBC, as the national broadcaster, plays a vital role in disseminating information and is considered an integral part of the fight against terrorism.
So what we have agreed with the UCC, there is already a short code which is being managed by NITAU. So we have asked NITAU and UBC to work out, and also UTL, to work out modalities, how UBC can be hooked on the short code which is managed by NITAU on behalf of all government agencies. Because now we are trying to decentralize.
Regarding concerns about abetting terrorism, the minister emphasized that security intelligence cannot be entrusted solely to the existing toll-free codes.
We are very cautious because you can't send any security information to any telephone company or to any code. It has to be a code which is managed by security. And obviously, even us, our agencies will work closely with Uganda Police.
The meeting resolved that UTL, UCC and NITAU be granted a 7-day time frame to carry out a survey and submit a report. This report will serve as a foundation for implementing the presidential directive. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News in Kampala.
In other news, animal feeds manufacturers under the umbrella body, the Uganda Animal Feeds Manufacturers Association, are requesting for a redefinition of some of the provisions of the Animal Feeds Bill 2023, which prohibits use of stones and sand in animal feeds making. This was at Parliament, where the association members first Parliament's Committee of Agriculture to give their views on the Animal Feeds Bill 2023, which is under scrutiny.
The Parliamentary Committee of Agriculture is currently considering the Animal Feeds Bill 2023, which seeks to provide legislative framework for the operationalization of the animal feeds policy by regulating the production, importation, exportation and marking of animal feeds, and by establishing the Animal Feeds Committee to regulate the production, importation, exportation and marking of animal feeds.
Where we have a very big problem is storage and manufacturing.
The committee, chaired by the Abim District Woman MP Janet Grace Okorimwe, interfaced with the Uganda Animal Feeds Manufacturing Association, which requests for a redefinition of some of the clauses, say Clause 16 of the bill, which prohibits use of substances like sand and stones in animal feeds.
So on Clause 16, Clause 18, Clause 23, Clause 24, 25. This is now time for us for seeking clarifications, if any, where you are not clear, where you want to add something.
Aimebo Mbarushimana, the chairperson of the Feeds Manufacturers Association, argues that the law should only ban non-animal nutritious sand and stones because some specific types of sand and stones are used to boost calcium in poultry. He exhibited to the committee the kind of stones and sand that are key feed elements in poultry and called upon the committee to amend the clauses.
I have specifically written that let it be mentioned as so those which are not allowed to be put in their non-animal nutritious stones or sands. I hope you can understand this, and maybe someone who understands law or the linguistic, because we're using the King's language now.
Inadequate animal nutrition is cited as one of the major factors that limit Uganda's production of livestock products. Statistics show that animal feeds account for 70% of the production costs, and thus it has significant effect on the production costs and profits. Upgrading the animal industry and giving priority to agricultural development is vital in enhancing government's import substitution agenda and the Buy Uganda, Build Uganda policy.
What personally I would have loved is to see that, and I even said it on the floor, is to see that we empower local producers. Because, for example, concentrates, 98% of the elements, we have them in Uganda. So we do not need to do importation. So these companies that have been doing business in Uganda for more than 5 years, they have solid clients. We need them to start producing locally in Uganda.
Dennis Sigoa for UBC News.
Politicians have called on government to redefine democracy, which they think has deteriorated by 68%, based on a survey carried out by Afrobarometer in the year 2022. This was at around 9 Afrobarometer survey data release in Kampala.
Afrobarometer carried out a survey in 2022 to assess the percentage at which democracy stands in the country. Findings indicate that 63% of Ugandans want more to be done for democracy to prevail in the country. This is mostly attributed to aspects of economy, efficiency infrastructure, and accountable governance.
The data shows that the proportion of Ugandans, and by extension the proportion of Africans who demand, who prefer democracy as a means of governing is reducing, unfortunately. And we have also found similarly that the proportion of Ugandans and Africans who are satisfied with the way democracy works in their own countries is also reducing. These views, okay, are very much driven by issues of economics, that people don't find enough of economic goods and services that they are looking for.
Edward Francis Babu, a politician, says there is need to cultivate democracy, emphasizing the need to refrain from cultural norms.
We have failed as leaders in this country to cultivate democracy for our people. Culture and our DNA should now try and get this Western democracy, liberal democracy, and see how we can infuse the two so that we can come out with something that works for us.
Honorable Win Kiza, former leader of opposition in Parliament, says citizens are ignorant on the relevancy of democracy. Kiza adds that the foundation of multi-party succession in the country wasn't firm to hold the democracy of the country.
Foundation, when we went to multi-party democracy, the foundation was shaky. It was not well constructed, it was not well built. The aspect was that we are going into a multi-party dispensation because donors want, because these multi-partists want. So the citizenry was not at that time told the importance of democracy, even when it was their demand. Because
these, however, say democracy can serve anyone if government institutions are respected and balanced. Irene Faith Nantongo. Mary Namokose, UBC News.
In a recent validation report on education in Ugandan schools, Dr. Violet Kajubiri, Deputy Chairperson of the Education Service Commission, highlighted a concerning increase in students compared to available teachers. This issue, discussed in a conference in MPG, emphasized challenges such as understaffing, salary discrepancies, and nepotism.
Near national parks, some of them it's not clear whose land is it. But
in Kampala, Mengo High School, validated during February to April 2023, accommodates over 5,000 students with only 77 teachers on the government payroll and over 100 on PTA terms, as the Deputy Chairperson, Education Service Commission explains.
And I don't know, at that time, the enrollment for example, Mengo Secondary School. And today, they have more than 5,000 students. The good thing is that Mengo is a day school. Students go home. But if they were staying overnight, the teachers there would be very few.
This incident cuts across the country, revealing a nationwide need for urgent attention to address challenges like infrastructure gaps and insufficient schools.
But sometimes the infrastructure doesn't tally with the number of students, because you need corresponding laboratories, corresponding structures for classrooms, and these need to be equally improved.
Additionally, the report pointed out issues of teacher transfers, collaboration between districts and the ministry, and the urgency for more teachers due to increased enrollment, particularly driven by COVID-19 related double enrollments.
The districts also used to think that secondary school teachers or secondary schools in their area don't need to communicate with them. But now that has changed. I'm very happy to report that the districts and the ministry are working closer together.
Godfrey Kalyango, the district education officer, Gomba district, calls on for collective effort of the ministry and local government in order to eliminate such issues.
But the handling is a concerted effort. It is not one man's business, but it's just it requires for a joint hand where all the concerned citizens have to come together. That's the local government, the ministry, the parents, even the other staff.
The government is therefore urged to address these findings promptly, involving district officers, Ministry of Education and Public Service to resolve issues like document forgery and payment discrepancies, ensuring proper planning for staffing as the population continues to increase. Justin Nakami, UBC News.
UBC Lunchtime News. The Uganda People's Defense Forces, UPDF, and Congolese FARDC may have opened the fourth axis for offensive action against Allied Democratic Forces, ADF, in Ituri province. The UPDF contingent was led by Major General Dick Olum, Operation Shuja commander, marked the beginning of artillery firepower in areas occupied by the ADF splinter group terrorists.
After heavy firepower by UPDF and Fadaka forces in Mayongose, Kainama and Mwalika, few ADF elements close to Ituri province, where the joint forces are now closing on them. The opening of the fourth axis front is to secure the road from Luna up to Bunia, as well as flushing out the ADF rebels in that sector.
Sasa wana hapa. Unaona hiyo nyumba, pembeni ya nyumba hapa. Sema nyumba hiyo inakwama na miti hiyo. Mimi nataka barabara straight hapo. Straight inaenda hadi kwa zile miti, kwa ile miti.
At Luna village, The Congolese were held in an excitement when the UPDF troops entered the Ituri province through Beni axis to manhunt the ADF splinter group reported to have crossed over to Ituri forests in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo.
Pamoja kama watu moja twende tupigane nalo. So kama sisi iko hapa operation tunafanya sio ya Uganda. Tunafanya joint operation ya FARDC na UPDF. Anatoka Beni, anaendesha gari yake yeye mtu ngapi? Anapita hapa na kwenda yake. Inamaanisha sisi na FARDC tufanye nguvu, tupate mafuta, tupate mashini ya kutengeneza barabara, tutengeneze barabara hii kutoka Erengeti hapa hadi Komanda, hadi Mombasa na Bunia.
Residents of Runa Town expressed a sigh of relief that the coming of UPDF forces to join the Congolese Fadaka army was a positive gesture for lasting peace.
UPDF kufika kutoka Uganda kufika kutusaidia na kutuchunga. Banalu walikuwa nafika kutuchinja, kubeba mali, kuua, kubeba kila kitu yoyote.
Juma moja kama tusikie sauti ya risasi ama mtu akitoka humu maiti amekufa.
Wanatuua, wanatuchinja. Ndio sisi tunafurahi sana nyinyi mnafika, tangia nyinyi nafika tupate shida.
Major General Diko Lum expressed gratitude for the warm welcome and urged the people of Congo to maintain the support to the joint forces through reporting ADF locations and disassociate from armed peace elements. Haruna Mteisasira, UBC News.
The Uganda Police Force has released stringent traffic and security guidelines for attendees planning to join the forthcoming Busoga Royal Wedding, set to take place in Jinja District on Saturday, that's on November 18th, 2023.
Police has confirmed beefing up security in Busoga sub-region ahead of the royal wedding.
Employment, we have components. We have the component of intelligence, we have the component of police, we have UPDF, we have military police, we have CMI, we have CID. So all those components, we are working towards the common goal of having a successful Busoga Royal Wedding.
While addressing media this Thursday afternoon from Bugembe in Jinja District, police says they are giving no room to sabotage and terrorism.
Our focus is in line with the would-be threats, and we all know that there is a threat of terrorism, the terror threats. Now, as security, we plan for the worst.
For key government installations, police is keeping an open eye to them.
We are focusing on the key government installations. We have the bridges, the source of the Nile bridges, the railway bridge, the old bridge, and the new bridge. So there is maximum security there.
The traffic police has also laid down no compromise measures to those attending the event.
Some of the junctions joining in shall be closed and later on opened. The VVIPs that we're expecting, those are the internationals, and some of the VIPs in Uganda will use Katende Road, and they will have a parking at the Busoga Kingdom headquarters where we are now. And later on, buses for Shira Motors will transport these VIPs up to the church. We shall also have maybe the president, just like communications were, and also the Queen and the King use the Cathedral Junction up to the church.
For highways, there will be a major focus on them.
International Highway, Jinja, Iganga, Bujiri, Tororo Busia. It is very crucial. That highway is going to be free.
The couple, who happens to be the King and Queen, will from church have a procession around Jinja town, and this moment will hold traffic for some good hours.
After the church, we shall have the King and the Queen move out, use the Cathedral Road, branch off on the right using the Iganga Jinja Highway up to Kamuli Roundabout. We proceed up to Gaddafi Roundabout and then branch off the left, Dunlop Junction, proceed up the main street of Jinja City. Now, at Africa Bank of Africa, they will branch and join Gabula Road and come to Nalfenya Road, commonly known as Kampala Road. Reach Amber Court, branch off on the right, proceed up to Gaddafi Roundabout, Mairombiri, and come and use Katende Road, proceed up to the Palace.
The above statutory guidelines are expected to be on until Saturday 18th November 2023, which is the D-Day. And according to police, they are giving no chances other than preparing to receive the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who is expected to attend the wedding of the Royal King of Busoga, His Royal Highness William Gabula Diop IV. I'm Robert Onyango for UBC News here in Jinja.
Well, best of luck and warm wishes to Busoga Kingdom. Looking forward to the celebrations. And of course, as a national broadcaster, we'll definitely keep you updated. Now, looking at health this afternoon, cataracts are one of the most common diseases affecting people, especially the elderly. But due to lack of financial resources, many neglect it and eventually lose their sight. Herona Hospital in Chisoga did perform free surgery on more than 30 elderly people.
A cataract is a clouding of the lens of the eye, which is typically clear. For people who have cataracts, seeing through cloudy lenses is like looking through a frosty or fogged up window. Most cataracts develop slowly and do not disturb eyesight early on, but with time, cataracts eventually affect vision.
Kyasoka kujja ne kibanga kalugaye ng'omuntu awandiiseko ennyukuta z'Ekiwarabu ne kimala ebbanga nga bwe mma ntunula bwe nga nabanga ennyukuta z'Oluwarabu n'ensaba ne sala kiggwako kati nagenda okulaba nga te kujjako akantu akasobola obusazi bwekaki awo gatandikira.
In a way of helping the needy persons, Herona Hospital in Chisoga, Mukono district, have performed free surgery on more than 30 elderly persons.
Okubanga sikyalina kye neekolera ng'ate mbadde nduka ekibbo ne bakigula ne nduka omukeeka ne bagugula eyo yennaku yebadde enkwata konze kati ani agenda okundiisa n'asabaani.
The recipients included elderly people aged 70 to 95 who had been desperate to see again. Some of the elderly who underwent the surgery shared how the disease had affected them and the fact that they were helpless.
Gwasooka nagenda Mulago kati kangambi mu 1945 nga nkyali mu ssomero nagalwala haliwo omuzungu yali ng'atuzanjaba yampa eddagala nituliranga mu mmere negawona kati bwe twayita eno era negaddamu neganuma nengenda Mulago ne bakebera ne bampa eddagala negawona naye maama gatabuka omulundi gumu.
They thanked Herona Hospital for running with the treatment when they were being asked for more than 3 million Ugandan shillings for the operation.
Naye kaakati ndabira ddala bulungi nnyo buli kimu nkiraba buli kyenkola nkitegeera buli baali bankwata ku mukono nga ntuulawo ne ntandika okukaaba ne ngaba ndiddamu nze ne ntunula naye kati neetambuza bwomu negoye zayo nzeeyoleza buli nga neegayira bwegayiriza gujja ngonjoleze ku lugoye naye kati ndabika nti nzize.
Nagendayo nengende nabantwala eyo lusaba kyebankolako nga baŋŋamba kaseesobola nengenda waliwo bajja bano abatambula nabo ne bandagirira Namirembe.
The head of eye treatment at the hospital, Dr. Natukunda Lydia, says the move is made to help people regain their sight and it's part of the hospital's corporate social responsibility.
With that surgery, it helps people to live independently, to be productive. I'm encouraging everyone make sure you go for eye checkup in case you're feeling anything wrong with your vision, you're feeling anything in your eyes. Make sure you go for eye checkup at the nearest eye hospital. If you're within Mukono, you can come here at Chisoga and you have your eyes checked.
The hospital was inaugurated by the King Ronald Muinda Mutebi II during his visit to Chagwe.
Returning shortly after these messages with more news updates. Keep it right here.
Jovia. Ng'oyolekera ku lugendo luno olw'obulamu. Nkuwa ekirabo eky'amaanyi agatazizibwa. Amaanyi okulabibwa n'okuwulirwa mu mawanga ag'ewala ennyo. Okutuuka buli wamu nga yadde togenzeeyo. Ensi yonna ng'ekuli mu ngalo. Okutambula mu biseera n'okumanya buli kimu ekirina okumanyibwa. Jovia, kino kye kirabo kyange gy'oli.
Tewali kumuko ky'osobola okukola ku mukutu nnandameggwa ogwa MTN.
African Airline Association, in conjunction with Uganda Airlines, presents the 55th AFRA Annual General Assembly between the 19th and 21st November 2023 at Speak Resort Hotel, Munyonyo, in the heart of Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. In attendance will be 500 high-profile African and global aviation leaders, 40 airline CEOs making strides to transform aviation for development. The 55th AFRA AGA is proudly powered by
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying. If you've just joined us, it's UBC Lunchtime News live from Broadcast House, Nile Avenue. Now on to business this afternoon. Different member states under the Northern Corridor Transit and Transport Coordination Authority have come together to harmonize policies that will help in the smooth flow of the cargo and persons in the North Corridor. During the gathering held in Kampala, Omai Nyarandi, Executive Secretary, Northern Corridor, says there is need for multi-mode of transport that will favor the Northern Corridor states to develop trade amongst these countries. Nyarandi highlighted the challenges these Northern Corridor states encounter, emphasizing that if the policies are implemented, development of trade will prevail. States of Northern Corridor include Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Burundi.
Harmonize policies in such a way that if you weigh your cargo in a way bridge in Kenya, if we have harmonized policies, that particular cargo should be able to pass through. So if we advocate for way in motion in Kenya, this should translate to way in motion in Uganda. There are particular laws that are still not been harmonized, which might bring issues like what you are saying. And we are working on harmonization of such policies as one of the mandates of Northern Corridor. Activity opening particular areas. You could easily be exporting to Ethiopia from Uganda here if we had a good communication through the Northern Kenya. And that's what we are saying. Can we have interland connectivity to assist our members so that what we'll be looking for is how do we have a regime of maintenance of these roads.
More business talk, taking you to tourism updates, where the Minister for Tourism, Tom Botime, has disclosed that the tourism industry is steadily on the road to recovery after being affected by COVID-19. The visitor arrival has continued to grow and domestic tourism had awakened. He disclosed this during the 14th graduation of Uganda Hotel and Tourism Training Institute, that is in Jinja.
Uganda Hotel and Tourism Training Institute Jinja has today graduated over 100 students in different courses. Minister for Tourism, who officiated the 14th graduation ceremony for Uganda Hotel and Tourism Training Institute, says that government will continue long support to the tourism workforce.
I congratulate all those persons whose names have been read.
Minister Botime also added that the graduation of the students is a sign of progress and response to the industry.
Tourism is therefore steadily on the road to recovery, I can assure you. Employment in the sector has been greatly affected during COVID with losses up to 70%. But equally, the skill sets had also been affected as many workers left the industry due to prolonged closures and economic pressures that were rather uncompetitive.
Era tutukanga kuba omuntu nti ni gasita ndala mukana itano sita isatu ash onige yes
nga bakubuza machanti
nga bamubuza machanti code nga tumukobata mu nsanvu bino olumalirizawo ngatamwe sente dali kuwayo kumbaga ya mwenemu sawa yeneyo nga kyabazinga amwebaza nga tweyongere kai tujja mu kyalo ekindi
ekikoba embago lunawa luti nga mwira
tulija kumala kai tweyongere emyezi mukaga nga tukasumisa abantu momope
baba embaga ya mwenemu eriyo nga 18 kai emyezi omukaga gyoli kuongeramu ojaji
oyidi ne bya momope abantu yembite yona bandeta momo ono ne bibali kumpaka ne bya momo pabi tyama kupichipichi ojo bisomese
muleke musoni we tyamaja
baba tuka bulungi
simbule embalasi asumulude
momo nyabo.
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Thanks for staying. Sports updates this afternoon. As non-communicable diseases continue to claim lives, Uganda is intensifying efforts to enhance fitness and overall well-being among its citizens, aiming to combat these health challenges.
According to the World Health Organization, over 41 million people worldwide succumb to these diseases annually, prompting a critical need for protective measures. While the Ministry of Education advocates for physical education in schools, there is an emerging recognition that the working population requires increased access to exercises.
And the back, then lift, and the back, lift. Now we're going to do it like it's a whole dance routine.
Conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart attacks, which have become prevalent, could have been averted through regular physical activity. Amidst the usual marathons and recreational runs, the emphasis now is on integrating physical education into daily routines. Encouraging Ugandans to take physical fitness seriously on a day-to-day basis is crucial in combating the rise health risks associated with a sedentary lifestyle.
Illness, like I said, is a debilitating thing. First, debilitating at an individual level, but also at a community level. So societal, community as well as national. So if we can actually not spend all our monies treating diseases that can be prevented, then it serves us all better. So I think it behooves us as a society to do the best for ourselves as individuals, but also for the community at large.
In line with this, Jubilee Health Insurance introduced its Maisha Fit wellness program in the Ugandan market. This initiative aims to empower customers by fostering preventive and curative health practices.
Come by us all the time. We have diabetes, high blood pressure, and so on and so forth. Some of these are preventable by following certain regimes, by doing simple things as exercising, eating right, and so on and so forth. So by doing this, we feel that we shall reduce the colossal amounts of money spent on treating these conditions because we shall have prevented them in their tracks. Part of the offerings on the app is that we shall have specialists we shall be bringing from time to time. We shall be putting messages in the app targeting certain themes. For instance, in December, we celebrate World AIDS Day, for instance. We'll be talking about messages touching AIDS. We have the cancer.
Well, more sports talk. The team is already standing by in studio. That is the score to give you more updates as far as sports world is concerned. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sandra Kahunde, wishing you a blessed afternoon. Keep it UBC.